Hi all. So today we will see about project schedule. So why we need the project schedule? So we need to know how long the project will take to finish. So project schedule is very important. So we have different types of schedule. Some schedule you need to prepare during your tender phase or proposal phase. Then you may need to submit a baseline schedule once the contract is awarded. Then we may need to submit the monthly updated schedule based on the progress what you are doing. So there are many types of levels in the schedule. So it is like you have a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So it is basically how you detail the schedule in much detail. So for proposal schedule, so you may need to just make a preliminary schedule. So but you need to ensure that you can finish the particular activities in the particular duration. So you may need not break down much, but here you need to consider the very high level key important activities in the project schedule. So for example, so you can consider there is one project where you need to lay the GRE piping or like a carbon steel piping in an existing pipe rack. So this involves you need to do the procurement, you need to do the fabrication, you need to construct, you need to do the pre-commissioning, and also you need to provide some commissioning support. So how we can build this schedule? So based on the sometimes the client may propose some kind of durations in the scope of works. Then you may need to see like whether you'll be able to meet that particular duration at the particular time. So then, so for example, in this, so you may need to go through the you may need to go to the site and do the site survey. So where you need to do the pipe laying. So maybe in the isometric drawing, you may know what level you have, and so what is the total length you need to lay, and what is the size of the pipe quantity and everything. So you may get all key quantities there. Then once you get the key quantities, then you may need to send that RFQ to your procurement guy, like what is the pipe, how many GR pipes required, how much elbow you need, how much T reducer, whatever, flanges, then valves and everything you need to send. There are some cases like you may have some control valves, you may also have some level transmitters, so that you send the inquiry to the procurement team. So he may need to get the offer, he may need to find like there could be some approved vendors in the owner side. So you may need to go to those vendors first. Then you may also need to check the delivery and what is the price. So sometimes you may need to most of the time it is like you may go with the L1 and who is the shortest time who is able to deliver this. So this forms so you may get the duration, so how long does it require for you to procure these materials, and you may also need to get the test certificates and everything. If the project it may get awarded in a very short span of time, so you may also do some kind of advance booking, so that the vendor also is quite planned for the deliveries and everything. So here you get the procurement durations, but then you go for the fabrication. So for the fabrication, so how much crew you need to do, so what is the total quantity. Then the parallelly you may also need to do the scaffolding installation for doing the particular construction. So you may need to get the quantities there. Then you may need to consider some kind of durations for that. Then for fabrication, what is the duration. Then for sometimes like you may not you cannot start the job directly, so you may need to submit the procedures, method statements, and you may also need to submit all the shop drawings to the. So everything you need to consider some kind of duration for receiving the documents from the supplier and submitting the documents, and what is the approval cycle and everything. So you may need to Once the project is awarded, you may need some 1 or 2 months based on the scope of works for doing this documentation part. Then also you may need to know, like there are a lot of in oil and gas projects, you may also need to get some kind of permits. So for that you may need to do the permit trainings, so that then there will be assessment, so you get the work permit, receiver code, or like executive review, or there are different types. So sometimes you may also, if you're capable, so you may also execute the particular job. So you may be like a work permit executor, so you are the direct executor the particular site. Then you may also need to interact with the permit issuer to get the work permit. So you may also need to check with them, so what are all their prerequisites for executing that particular job. So whether you need some kind of road closures, so everything you need to identify those kind of things, and you need to include in the particular schedule. So suppose if there is a road closure, so you may need to get the approval from the operation authority, and as well as firefighting team as well. So then you may also need to take the approval of your equipments, like you may need to submit the third party cards and some certificates like servicing certificates and everything. So this take quite a lot of time, so you may need to do a lot of planning kind of things. So this everything you need to fit inside, like, so you may also need to have some kind of duration, so then only you can start the scaffolding. So then by the time your materials can arrive, so you can do that prefabrication. So once the scaffolding is done, then you can directly come and start the pipe erection. So for that also you may need to calculate what is how many crews you're going to put. So if it is a very small project, there is no putting additional cranes, so you may lose more. So it's always good, like based on the scope you can plan. So then you may need some kind of duration for doing the pipe laying, and for erection, and for lamination of the joints. Then also you may also need to do the support fabrication, so you need to start the fabrication activities pretty early. So that also you need to consider, so that you do not face any issue for your pipe laying, so that your supports can be laid before then they can do the work front will be continuous. So this everything you may need to detail in your planning, and so then you make the schedule ready. Then you may submit the schedule to the owner. So along with that, you also need to do some execution strategy plan, how you're going to perform these works. So there you need to, whatever things I have told here, so you may need to write everything like a kind of sequence chart, whatever risk and everything, interface coordination, everything you need to put that. Then you also need to submit some kind of histograms, like a manpower histograms or equipment histograms, and what is your organization chart. Sometimes you need to attach some kind of CVs along with this. So everything forms a big document, so you submit to the owner. Then you may also get some kind of clarifications from them. Then if you are not able to meet the particular deadline, so you may need to go for a different kind of specification of the particular items. So this everything comes, then some kind of negotiation happens, and you also highlight like what are all the key things required from the owner side to meet this schedule. So sometimes you need to work on holidays, or sometimes you need to go on late work. So this everything you need to put over there. So we have considered this many durations, so assumptions play a very important role here. So this is for the proposal schedule. So then once the project is contract is awarded, or the work order is issued, so then you may need to start to develop the detailed baseline schedule. So then you will have some kind of different team members joining the project. So then you need to coordinate with the particular team and tell them like this has to be achieved in particular this is how it has been developed during the proposal stage. So you need to meet that. So then you start to develop that schedule, and they go we make some kind of a detailed level, and also you may need to load the resources to the schedule, and or sometimes we do like a cost loaded schedule, or like a revenue based schedule. So then for all these deliverables, so there will be some price for procurement, then for construction, then for testing, commissioning, engineering, everything. So then you load all this, then you can extract this from the P6. There is an option called resource assignment, so that will show you like what are all the activities, like how it will be distributed. So then based on that you can generate the S curve. So then you can start to monitor the progress by comparing the plan percentage to the actual progress what you achieved. So this is about a small project, how the schedule is built in a project.